I'm not a huge fan of Stephen King as far as literature goes, but I am a big fan of many of the movie adaptations. Um, as a writer, especially of novels, I think Stephen King tends to ramble quite a bit, a little too much for my taste. But when you get a good filmmaker who can kind of sort of sift through Stephen King's imagination to cherry pick the best parts of stories, uh, you get a really good movie. And one of the best Stephen King adaptations came out very recently. It, directed by Andy Muschietti, uh, and this is interesting. You've seen my custom cases. This is not a custom case, but it is a 3-disc case that I put it in. Obviously, there's a spot for the sequel that will be coming out next year, and for the TV movie. The TV movie, which isn't very good, but I grew up with it. It terrified me as a kid. I think I was 10 when it came out. And I had, when George gets pulled into the sewer, I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Um, this is a far superior movie. This recent 2017 film is a far superior movie. Um, and it takes the campiness away, which, don't get me wrong, I love Tim Curry as Pennywise, but Bill Skarsgård really plays Pennywise in a way that is terrifying. I will give this criticism too, as far as like comparing the 1990 TV movie to this one. Take the two scenes, the scene in Georgie getting pulled down into the sewer. Tim Curry played it like a clown. Tim Curry played it like, and you could kind of see how a little kid wouldn't be totally freaked out by this smiling. He was playing it like a clown, like a very typical clown. And that, you could see how that would lure the kid in. Bill Skarsgård plays it in a way no kid was going to talk to him. He was utterly terrifying. Georgie would have run screaming. And to me, that's what that does. As much as it's effective in a scary kind of way, it does take away from why Pennywise would choose that form of a clown. Because the clown is meant to lure the children in. This wouldn't lure anybody in. This is just a straight up creepy, weird performance that is great, but does maybe contradict a little bit the purpose of being a clown. That said, Bill Skarsgård, who is fantastic, is not the best part of this movie. The kids are the best part of this movie, and I have a soft spot for the Kids on a Mission movie. We used to get that a lot when I was a kid. Monster Squad and Goonies and The Gate, and great movies where like the kids were under fire from either some evil force or they were on a mission to do something. And I love those movies. I love those movies to this day, and this feels like it fits in very well with that. In particular, all the kids are good, but in particular, the I don't know their names, but the kids that play Richie and Beth are particularly strong. I mean, the girl especially who plays Beth, she's gonna be a movie star. Like there's no doubt about that in my mind. Unless she decides to do something else with her life, she is gonna be a movie star. The rest of them range from, again, they're all good performances, but the script, unfortunately, the sort of condensing down of this this 1,000-page book into 2 hour movies, some of the kids suffer, especially um, Mike and Ben, who are almost useless in the movie in a lot of ways. Ben, or not Ben, Mike especially, because they sort of swap Mike and Ben's stories. In the book and in the TV movie, it was Mike who really was the historian, and he was the one who knew about the history of the town and all that. And here they give that to Ben, which I found very unusual. I thought that was strange. Mike is almost isn't even in it, and you don't get the feel, and you never see them all playing together with Mike, which to me felt very odd. There's in the novel and in the TV movie, there's a racial component to why Mike is in the Losers Club. I mean, this was set in the 50s, and then this movie is set in the 80s, but there still would have been some racism, and you could have played that up when. Oh, now I can't remember the bully's name. When the bully is bullying Mike, really, and it's strange. There should have been more racism in his attack. You kind of get the feeling like that's what he's doing, but they hold back. They don't go all the way with it, and I think it would have been more powerful and better if they did. The movie, I think some critics have accused it of going a little bit more over the top. I mean, it's a typical movie that would be made now, with I mean, in the book and in the TV movie, there's just sort of the part where the blood comes out of the sink. It's just some blood that comes out of the sink, and of course in the current movie, it just explodes out of the sink, and the entire bathroom is coated in blood. But I didn't mind it because I really enjoyed the cast. I really enjoyed the setting, the fact that I was their age more or less at that time. I mean, I love in the background, over the course of the summer, you can see the marquee on the movie theater change, and it'll say like Batman, Lethal Weapon 2, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, all of these movies that came out that summer that I remember, and it really does stand out to me as a movie that, and I talked about this in a previous video, that there aren't many movies I'm looking forward to anymore, but I am very much looking forward to Chapter 2. I think the fact that they got Bill Hader to play the adult Richie is brilliant casting. I actually think that the cast is a little strange for Part 2 because they came out with like these big names for like the first few. It's like James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, and the rest, and then they just sort of got kind of, I don't want to say no-name actors, but they got lesser-known actors to play the rest. I'm hoping that maybe they're very good and this launches their careers to bigger, better places. But I would give the 2017 version of It, I'd give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's not quite a masterpiece. It's not The Shining. It's not Shawshank Redemption. It's not Stand By Me. But as on the spectrum of King adaptations, this is one of the better ones. And if you like scary movies, if you like tense movies, this is definitely one to seek out.